Up in the mountains again, just walking along a trail, and this kind of blue quartzy stuff is popping up all over the place. Not really sure what it is. Might take a little piece with us and see what it is later, but very cool. So we've been looking along this trail, and we were finding stuff like this that looks very much like quartz. It's shiny, but it has these little kind of like patches of more soapy stuff in it. It's much more waxy, has more color. It's not fracturing in any particular direction. And then you kind of look at the way it shines. There's no particular plane, so it's not crystallized, but it's kind of a blue color. And it's cracked everywhere, but this one definitely looks like opal over here. So I found a little bit more evidence. So you look at this one, it's actually embedded in the base rock. Here as like a nodule or something like that. These, I have a feeling, will clean up and look very different when they're wet. Very fractured and a lot of discoloration, iron staining. It's more gray than blue in the sun. It does pick up some blue. There is some blue in that part. Don't know what that is. Have to look at that. This one has a lot of different colors. So this one's covered in dirt. Just a quick see. Has some pinks and stuff in it. Cleaned them up afterwards, but I wanted to show this one that proves my theory. So this is the host rock, and that's that same stuff laid down inside. It looks like chalcedony, but it's not growth, right? It's filled in. I'm going to pause there so I can show you this really detailed map of the area we were in. And the less detailed maps, I kind of knew most of the Sierras are granitic, and so that would be this purple mass. But on this map, it actually shows that the area we were in, which was right about here, is in this brown mass, which if you go over here, actually it's the Merton Formation, early Pliocene and Miocene, and it describes it as a volcanic mudflow deposit intermixed with lesser sandstone and conglomerate, etc., etc. So the way I read this is that it's actually volcanic ash mixed with water and soil surface right at that time period. So it was superheated by a volcano, but it wasn't actually lava flow. So this quartz material is probably more of inside of a sandstone than it is inside of a volcanic rock like basalt or whatever it usually is in this area. And so finding this out, that there were volcanic mud flows and we have sandstone flows and all that stuff, makes me think that it actually is pretty close to Flint in the California way, not exactly in calcium and limestone, but in a volcanic ash sandstone deposit from a long time ago. So here's my sample. So I'm going to dry these out and I'll kind of show you after they're cleaned up. So when I was washing this rock off, I noticed this little patch of yellow, and I was kind of like, wow, that's pretty neat. It's very different. It looks like botryoidal something. So I went in and got the UV light. So this would be long wavelength is green, and short wavelength it's white. And so I started looking it up. But to be a good detective, you got to go with what's basic. It's soft. It's just a bit of tree sap. So I thought I found some cool crystals, but didn't this time. Pretty go. So I'm kind of in a precarious position. I got one of my old knives. Try not to just break the knife off. But if this was opal, I would be scratching into that already. As you can see, nothing is happening. And I was able to scratch into the the knife pretty easily, so that tells me that is above 6. So it's definitely quartz. So this is just chalcedony of some sort. People on the East Coast are probably just saying like, hey dude, that is just simply flint. But on the West Coast we don't have gray flint. We have chert, which comes in a lot of different colors, and we have a lot of different quartz chalcedonies, like a lot of volcanic activity. So flint isn't really the type of stuff, even though it's the same material, just made a little bit differently. Now let me go grab a hammer. I'm going to sacrifice this one over here and just break it off and see how it looks. So I got my face shield. I got just a regular hammer. I'm trying to hold my phone and do everything all at once. Let's see if I can do this without hurting myself, if I can even get enough power on it. If not, I'll just do it off camera. There, got it. Very cool looking inside with the rind and the color. Beautiful, but still just quartz. Awesome.